Alright, fuck it, let's get it. Yes, sir. What's poppin' with y'all, man? Welcome back to another motherfucking episode of the Until Further Noise podcast. I am the flyest, highest, coolest, smoothest host of them all, OG Hatch, man. You know what the fuck it is, man. What's up with y'all, man? How y'all doing out there, man? Hopefully out there looking good, feeling good, staying safe. It's a lot of shit going on in these streets. We all know that shit by now. I want to say shout out to everybody that's tapped in, joining the conversation all around the world, man, on all DSPs, man. No matter how you listen to the podcast, man. No matter if you listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever, man. All DSPs. I want to say shout out to the YouTube community, man. This is episode 2 that will be uploaded on YouTube. The reception I got from last week's digital debut on YouTube was nothing short of phenomenal, man. Like I said, the love and support that I got from people that tapped in and joined the conversation is just truly humbling. You know what I'm saying? Let me know I'm on the right path to getting some shit shaking. And let me know I got an audience to make some shit for. Keep going with this shit, man. It's episode 31. We on the grind at 100. We not stopping, man. Who you know giving you 31 weeks straight of some shit? I'll wait. I ain't gonna wait long. I got shit to do, but I'll wait. But nah, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all that's been tapped in with me since day one. Like I said, 31 straight weeks is a long ass time to be tapped in with somebody, man. So I don't ever want to come across like I'm not, appreciative of what you guys are doing for me. Without you guys, I don't know what the fuck I'd be doing, man. Real talk, man. Ever since I graduated school, it's a lot of free time on my hands, man. I've been trying to get this podcast shit going, man. I've been locked in with this shit for the last couple weeks, man. I really been focused on this shit, trying to get shit moving. Like I told you, I'm trying to move and shit like that, so I can get more space for the pod and do some more creative things and have more things coming for you guys. I want to do skits and shit like that. We're going to up the production up a lot around this motherfucker. I got big plans and big ideas for this fucking podcast. We're going to get motherfuckers on here. We're going to get some artists on this motherfucker. We're going to get this shit popping, bro. Trust me. Just be patient with your boy. This first quarter of 2021, we're going to get shit shaking, man. We're going to have a nice-ass summer. Trust me. Moving on, though, man. It's a lot of shit on the docket. You know, of course, this episode right here is dedicated to all the people, you know what I'm saying, who are using their voice, man, to stand up for shit they believe in, that can help, you know what I'm saying, better the betterment of our people. I sat back, man. I was watching Judas and the Black Messiah that came out, this past weekend. And, the shit that stood, I'm going to get into the movie a little bit later. I'm going to give a review on it. But the shit that really stood out to me, man, is that Fred Hampton was only 21 years old, bro. That nigga was only 21 years old. That's some crazy ass shit when you really think about it. Like, I'm 25 years old. And I always feel like I was, I don't want to say woke, but I always feel like I spoke my mind on shit. I always feel like I seen the world a little bit differently. I had to grow up a little bit, sooner than a lot of the people my age. But to think that man was 21 years old and getting shit moving the way he was, it's because I always marvel, you know what I'm saying, when I sit back and I'm watching the NBA now, or I'm watching the NFL or whatever professional sport, you know what I'm saying, I'm watching these sports and I'm seeing these niggas younger than me getting these multiple $1 million contracts and shit. I'm seeing these niggas out there hooping and shit, and it's like, damn, I don't feel old, but I feel like, damn, I gotta do something, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a nigga younger than me just signed a $40 million contract. Kyle Kuzma, my age, nigga just signed a $40 million contract with the Lakers. Nigga, I'm salty. Nigga, I need to get to it. I need to get a bag, you know what I'm saying? I need to be getting my shit on the hands he getting his hands on. That's how my mind, it's inspiration based is what I'm saying. But to think that I marvel at niggas like that, I never really took time to marvel at the niggas that was younger than me or the same age as me that was getting shit shaken in a more positive way. Not saying it's not a goal or a dream for niggas to hit the league and niggas to get the pros and get that bag to feed their family for multiple generations and shit like that. That's a big ass goal. That's major, my nigga. Nothing but salute. But the niggas like Fred Hampton and shit like that, man, nigga that was 21 years old, who had a mind, who had a voice like that to move people like that, and had his mind focused on the right shit for the betterment of his own people, is nothing short of phenomenal, man. Nothing short of it, man. So I just want to say this episode is dedicated to all the motherfuckers who out there using their voice for the betterment of the people. You know what I'm saying? Who just speaking up on what they believe in. No matter if I believe in. It ain't about what other motherfuckers believe in. Just if you stand up for what you believe in, this episode is dedicated to you. Now, if I don't agree with what you believe in, just don't tell me. You know what I'm saying? Just don't tell me. But real shit, man. Like I said, it's a lot of shit on the docket, man. But before I do that, man, I had a question, man. So I was pondering. Niggas start using words and shit like that. I was pondering, you know what I'm saying? And I got a lot of niggas that listen to this podcast. The demographic of this podcast is like 67% male. So a lot of women listen to the podcast. Shout out to the ladies. What's up to y'all? My corny, yeah. But I wanted to ask the fellas this one question, man. What's worse? What's the worst confidence hit? You know what I'm saying? Because as a man, it's only, well, me personally, it's only so many things that can really damage my ego a little bit. I always bounce back, you know what I'm saying? But it's only a few things that can really damage my ego. But I want to know what's worse. You know what I'm saying? When you fucking a chick, you nut too fast, or when you playing 5-on-5 and you on the wing and a nigga swing it to you and you wide open. You wide open and nigga guard you say, oh yeah, shoot that shit. I got rebound. Niggas ain't got no confidence in the jumper. Which one is worse? Because I'm telling you, I done seen so many fights break out on the court just because a nigga was wide open and the nigga guarding himself. Oh, you ain't gonna make that shit. That's the root of all trash talk. So I want to know which one is worse as a confidence hit for a man. When you fucking a bad bitch, you might come a little too fast. You know, you might just take that L. It is what it is. But when you playing 5-on-5 and you wide open, think you finna stroke that bitch. You think you finna let that bitch rip? Nah. And niggas say, oh yeah, he ain't gonna make that shit. Oh, I got rebound, outlet. When you start hearing niggas talk like that, that's when you got a motherfucking problem. I done seen a lot of motherfucking scuffles start with some shit like that. But I just want to know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know on Twitter. Or let me know how did that shit start. Which one hurt the worst? Because I know which one hurt for me. I ain't going to say that shit on the air, though. But real shit, man. Today is when this episode comes out, it's going to be February 18th. February 18th is a special day for me. February 18th. If you don't know me personally, my father was murdered when I was 3 years old. His birthday was on February 18th. So this episode will be coming out on his birthday. This is the first episode that will ever be coming out on my pop's birthday. Hopefully, first of many more. I want to say happy birthday to you, Pops. Rest in peace. I'm gonna get a little bit personal with you guys a little bit before I get down deep into the podcast, man. Like I said on the first episode of this podcast, to let you guys know, this is a diary for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm using this as an outlet to get my personality out to a lot of people. Because a lot of people tell me I'm closed off. You know what I mean? A lot of people tell me that, I have walls up all the time and things of that nature, and I'm hard to read. You know what I mean? So I wanted to make sure I came on this podcast and I use this as an outlet, to display my personality, to display my affection that I have for other people that a lot of people don't see it on a daily basis. But I also want to use this podcast to use as a personal journal, because I do feel like I have one of those crazy lives, man. I've lived a crazy life in a short time. You know what I mean? It's a lot of shit that a lot of people don't know about me. It's a lot of shit that I don't tell people. I feel like no one in this world truly knows me 100% because I keep a lot of things in, and I don't tell everybody everything. I only tell people what I want them to know. That's just how I live my life. I'm very self-aware. I'm a very controlling person. I try to control as much as I can. But with the reason why I'm saying this is because, my father being murdered when I was 3 years old, I grew up, in a household where I really didn't have a positive male influence. You know what I mean? So a lot of this shit that I'm learning on my own, as I go, which is, as so are a lot of, young African American men. But this is my podcast squad, so I gotta speak my fucking mind, speak my piece. I just feel like there's a lot of things that I don't know about being a man that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things I don't know about being a man because my father was gone. Because I didn't have that dominant male influence in my life. So there's a lot of things that I shy away from just because of my father being gone. A lot of things that I do in my life, I try to do to hopefully I can make them proud. So we all have people in our life that have probably passed away that we want to just make sure that we do things in their honor. I've pretty much lived my entire life like that. This podcast truly is the first thing I've ever done in my life that is just truly for me. This is, that's crazy as fuck when I truly think about it. Like when I went to school and graduated from college and all the medals and all the records and shit in high school, like all that shit was cool. But that shit wasn't really for me. You know what I'm saying? I was just doing that shit. I was doing sports and shit in high school, just stay in school. I don't give a fuck about school. That's the reason why I went to college. I went to college because I knew I didn't give a fuck about high school. And I got a little brother that I know I didn't have a positive male influence in my life. So I had a little brother, so I wanted to make sure I was that influence for him. And that's the reason why I went to school. That's the reason why you see that fucking diploma right there. That's right in front of Nip. What up, Nip? Rest in peace. But no, truly, man. this is the first thing I've ever done in my life, you know what I'm saying, it's truly for me. And in doing so, and the man I have become, you know what I'm saying, these 25 years, I can only hope that I made my pops proud. Pops, I hope I made you proud, you know what I mean, and the things that I've done. I know a lot of things I've done that I'm not proud about, but hopefully the great things, the good things I've accomplished in life, you know what I'm saying, you can big me up on that and salute me that. One day we'll meet and maybe we'll just smoke a joint, and you know what I'm saying, we'll move on with our day. But as a child, man, I always wanted to know, I just wanted to say, I just wanted to always hit 30. You know what I'm saying? My pops was murdered when he was 29 years old. And the tragic effect that had on my mind growing up, I just always wanted to hit 30. I didn't really have a dream growing up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the kids around me wanted to go pro. A lot of the kids around me they knew what they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew what they wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do until I was fucking 19 years old, bro. Truly. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I wasn't going to be no bum-ass nigga, so I just kept on pushing. But now I know what I want to do in life. I know I want to be on TV. I know I want to be on somebody's screen. I know I want to do this shit with my life. And I feel like I owe it to my pops to make sure I carry on this name and carry on this legacy, because the only thing he left here was me. You know what I mean? So it's up to me to make sure this name stands for something. So I got to do this shit. And by me doing this shit, I'm coming to y'all. So with y'all, we going to get this shit rocking, man. We're going to keep this shit moving, man. I don't want to carry on the podcast with this deep, you know what I'm saying, sentimental shit. You know how we give it up over here, man. You know how we give it up, man. But this is the podcast. It's the Until Further Notice podcast, where we get deep on this podcast and we get real on this podcast. I don't want to give shit up and sugarcoat shit for y'all. As this podcast grows, you guys will be growing with me and see the growth of me. You will see the maturation of the man behind the mic. You will see the maturation of the man behind the camera. You will see that. I will show you guys pretty much every bit of my life that I can behind this camera as this podcast grows, as this YouTube channel grows. Like I said, I have big plans with this channel going forward, man. I have very big plans going forward. So a lot of people I have and connects with that I want to put on screen that I think are just very popular people, very dominant people who I feel deserve to get popping. And I feel like if I can just have anything to help with that, then I've done my part, and my legacy will continue to grow. So that's what this podcast will be the birth of. This would be the origin story of that. But we're going to get right into everything else we got into the podcast, man. What we're going to get into, man? We're going to get to Ayesha Curry, man. E to the head ass. Let's get to Ayesha Curry, man. You know, it's fucked up Steph Curry got to go through this shit, but I'm going to be honest with you, man. Klay Thompson already hurt. Draymond Green ain't going to shoot that bitch. So he got to go through that shit at work. Then he got to come home to his wife, want to show her ass. It's crazy, man, because Ayesha Curry, to me, I'm going to be honest with you. To me, Ayesha Curry want to look sexy for everybody but her husband at this point. That's just my personal opinion, bro. Like, it's a very touchy subject for me, because at no point in time am I ever trying to come off and trying to tell a woman what to do with her body. That's not the point that I want to make on this podcast. I really don't care what she does with her body. To me, the reason why it's pretty much a topic and I want to bring it up on the podcast is truly because I don't think Ayesha Curry truly appreciated the space that men held her in. I think a lot of times that, you know what I'm saying, it's like you have two different spectrums of the coin, two sides of the coin when it comes to the general public of women that I see. You have ones that, you know what I'm saying, they want to be, you know, they want to be sexy. They want to do that shit. They don't give a fuck what they got to say. Then you got some that want to be held in the higher regard. I think that Ayesha Curry, I don't know if she wanted to. Obviously, she didn't want to. But I think the status of her husband, Steph Curry, being the two-time MVP, the clean-cut dude, having the prestigious family of the NBA, with his father being a former NBA player, his brother being an NBA player, you know what I'm saying? His fucking sisters dating the NBA players. Like, the Curry family is like the first family of the NBA. I don't know if she understood that just came with like some ultimate respect type shit. That nobody was going to look at her as an NBA wife and just think sexy shit. And then she cooked. Nobody wanted to fuck Martha Stewart, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. We fuck with her, but nobody wanted to fuck Martha Stewart. And that's kind of how I looked at Ayesha Curry. She came out with the cookbooks and shit, making out the 30 different enchiladas and shit like that. Like, I'm thinking she wanted to be the cook. So why would we be wanting to fuck the cook? Your husband here shooting threes, and you out here making enchiladas and tostadas and shit like that. It's nothing but respect and love. Beautiful family, you popping out babies every 3 weeks. It's nothing but love. But it's like, I don't think she understood that it wasn't like niggas was saying she was ugly. It's just that niggas was actually respecting her. Niggas was actually respecting her relationship and respecting the image that they was giving off. So I think that's where the backlash comes from, where the media comes in, where people see that shit and see her posting, you know what I'm saying, skin. I don't even like saying naked because motherfuckers saying she not exposing shit. Bro, we know what's going on, bro. At any point in time, before 2012, we would have said that bitch was ass naked and we seen her shoulders and kneecaps. Hey, before 2012, we seen a bitch shoulders and kneecaps. She was naked. So nowadays, all you seeing, you got bitches walking around with pasties in broad daylight. So they moving the goalposts, fellas. They moving the fucking goalposts. But it's just, in all honesty, bro, I just don't think she understood the space that she was in. You know what I mean? I don't know if I didn't think it was a bad space to be in, but I don't think it's for men to be on the outside looking in to try to tell that woman to cover up or that she's disrespecting her husband or something like that. I had a few conversations with a few female friends of mine about the topic because I wanted to see how they felt about the shit because it is a touchy situation. Like, so you have a lot of people who take angst against the shit. You got women who just automatically just defend the shit and down any man trying to have a conversation about it because they feel we're trying to tell that woman how to feel sexy and things like that. But that's not the case, man. We, as a man, you have to understand that when women have kids, man, after they had kids, they want to feel sexy again. And today's climate, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers is posting pictures every day. They want a few niggas to put some hard eyes under there, bro. They want that shit. That just is what it is. That's the attention that motherfuckers is getting. Motherfuckers ain't outside no more. So that's just how motherfuckers is getting attention. It's not whether or not, it's not our place. If Steph Curry can still deal with that shit and still go on that court, still drop 40, and still keep the Warriors in the AFC, the playoffs, I ain't got shit to say, you feel me? I'm going to let that shit breathe. But like I said, it is a dicey situation. It's something to keep your eyes on because it does seem like, you know what I'm saying, she want to look sexy for everybody but her husband at this particular time. But like I said, as me, as a man, as an outsider, it's not our place, man. It just fucked up. He got to go through that, man. Because Draymond, like I said, man, Draymond is not shooting. Draymond dishing that bitch every chance he get. Every time he touched the ball, he waiting for Steph to curl off a fucking pick, man. That shit crazy. That shit crazy as fuck. But moving on, man. You know, I want to touch on something that I seen floating around, man. You know, I talk about it on every podcast, man. I'm a movie guy. I watch a lot of movies. You can see behind me, I got movie posters up. There's movie posters all around my fucking living room and all throughout my house, man. I'm a movie guy. You know what I mean? I can watch movies all day. I talked about Judas and the Black Messiah. I've talked about other movies on here as well. I got a movie of the week segment. But the thing I want to talk about is something I seen floating around about the reception of after seeing Judas and the Black Messiah. People were upset that, you know, Daniel Kaluuya, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, you know, having a prominent role, you know, as an African American figure, and he's British. You know, so it's a lot of things about British actors taking all the roles, you know, so the prominent black figure roles in America. And I understand the backlash, man, because niggas always want their own to shine. I get it. Niggas want their own to shine, bro. But I think it's just a bad argument to have, bro. I'm be completely honest with you because my standpoint on the whole British actors and American actor thing, man, to me, British actors are like, only way I can really explain this shit without really confusing people, to me, British actors are like foreign NBA players, like the Luka Doncic and shit like that. They're like fundamentals and shit. Them niggas can act. Like, look at all these niggas we talking about. The Daniel Kaluuya, the nigga from Snowfall, Idris Elba, my boy Victor Sweets. Like, I didn't even know these niggas was British. I didn't know these niggas was British until just a few years ago. It takes until you see a nigga interview and he start talking regular. My boy Morgan from fucking The Walking Dead, these dudes are fucking British. But when you come to the American actors, the niggas like Michael B. Jordan, the niggas like Omari Hardwick, you know what I'm saying, The Rock. These niggas is fucking face actors. These niggas is sexy. That's what America sells sexy shit. I'm not saying that these dudes can't act. I'm not saying that these dudes are bad actors at all. But what I'm saying is when you look at American-based actors, all these dudes is just dropping. They just sexy. They all chiseled up, 6-packs popping. They getting shit popping. They fucking all the bad white bitches in Hollywood. Black bitches is mad at them. Shit is going haywire. Everywhere you look. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Or if I'm lying, I'm fucking dying. That's how this shit go. Michael B. Jordan just had to give a Lloyd Harvey a shake the white bitch syndrome. He was going through it. He was going through the shit. But that's how it go. To me, in my personal opinion, all the American-based African-American actors are the new age, let me say new age, are face actors. The only one I can really see trying to get some shit popping is John David Washington. And, you know what I'm saying? He's still on the upcline. He's just now getting shit popping with that Malcolm and Marie, the Tenet movie and shit like that. So he on his way up. But for the most part, most American-based African-American New Age actors are fucking face actors. What New Age American-based African-American actor are you putting to play Fred Hampton over fucking Daniel Kaluuya? Who are you replacing them with? It's like when people are bringing up these arguments, but you gotta have somebody noteworthy that you'll replace that man with. You can't tell me that these niggas ain't killing this shit. You can't tell me they not. They been killing this shit for like at least the last 15 years. The last 15 years, British actors, British male actors have been killing this shit. And we can't sit here and say they don't deserve to be killing that shit. You can't sit here and say that. Like I said, the only equivalent I can make is like they like the fucking foreign NBA players. Now in the NBA, American-based talent, niggas is getting in off the athletics. Niggas is skying all over the motherfucking hardwood. Niggas is in that motherfucker soaring. But when you tell a nigga to put a motherfucking 3-step drop, come off the ISO, you know what I'm saying? What's your triple threat move and shit like that? These niggas is in panic mode. Niggas can't do shit in the half court. All these niggas can do on the fast break. Look at all these NBA stars nowadays. All these niggas is fucking fast break kings. Ben Simmons just signed $180 million off a fast break. He don't gotta do shit in the half court. These niggas is athletic. Not saying they bad players, but when you come over to the overseas players, now these niggas got fundamental skills now. These niggas come into the game with the fundamentals. They don't have the athleticism, and Luka still dropping fucking 45 and 12 on niggas because he got the fundamentals down. That's what I see in the acting game. It's like the acting skills in the British actors right now, they just killing that shit, bro. They truly killing that shit. I can only name 2 serious American-based talent, African-American-based actors that I can seriously say could have played fucking Fred Hampton. Only 2. And that's fucking what? Anthony Mackie probably. And the nigga that played Jim Brown in the fucking Last Night in Miami. I don't know. I can't think of his name right now. But he could have played the nigga. And I only say it because he dark-skinned. Both of them niggas dark-skinned. I don't think them niggas acting-wise is fucking with Daniel Kaluuya. Hopefully I pronounce his name right. I'm probably butchering that shit. But it's like, I don't understand. Like, people always be bringing up that argument, bro. But it's like, it gotta have some type of substance, bro. I get it. You want your own to eat. You want African Americans to play the African American roles. I get it, bro. I get it. Chadwick ain't here no more, man. Rest in peace. Chadwick did 8 motherfucking me movies, man. They had Black Panther, Jackie Robinson, motherfucking me, Ali. The nigga did every motherfucking me thing, man. That nigga did every motherfucking thing, bro. He can't do it. He gone. Rest in peace. The other niggas gotta eat, man. All them other, he was the only nigga worth substance, man. Moving on, man. We're gonna get into Texas, man. Let's get into Texas, man. I actually be pissed off if I didn't bring this up on the podcast, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I want to say prayers to everybody in Texas, man. Hopefully everybody can stay safe, man, throughout this tough time during Texas. There's a lot of power shortages out there in Texas, man. I think they said over 3+ million Texans are without power right now. Without power means no heat, no water, you know what I'm saying, throughout the snow and all things like that. What I did know is that over 23% of Texas power is generated from wind. I actually didn't know that part, man. They said the wind turbines are frozen and things like that. They're frozen in place, so there's no power being generated. A lot of people are using a lot of power they have. That the demand for the power right now is too much. It's actually trickling up to the Midwest as well. You know what I'm saying, with the weather and things like that. So I just want to send my prayers and condolences to everybody that's involved with that, that's going to be impacted by that, man, because I can only imagine going through some shit like that right now. At this point, I had never in my life, you know what I'm saying, been more happy to live in Arizona in my life, bro. I really hate it out here. This motherfucker don't get no snow, no nothing in this motherfucker. So at this point in time, I just want to make sure I send my condolences, man, to everybody that's going to be impacted by that. My prayers to everybody that has been impacted by that. Also, man, in Texas, I want to say, send my prayers to everybody and condolences to everyone who lost their life throughout that 100-car crash I seen on the highway out there. That was some of the craziest shit I've ever seen, bro. If you know me personally, I was involved in a pretty serious car accident a few years ago. It was pretty fucked up. I couldn't walk for, a month and a half. I got nerve damage in my back and shit like that. It was a pretty bad car accident. And I always tell motherfuckers, that's some of the scariest shit in life. Being in a car accident is the scariest shit I've ever been in. I've been shot at. I've been in crazy ass situations, and I've never was scared. Like, I was never as scared as I was when I was in that car accident. I fear the unknown. If I know what's going on, if I know a nigga got a gun, nigga got beef with me, then I know what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can put two and two together. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm in motherfucking me fight or flight mode. But as far as a fucking car accident, that shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You out of here just like that. And like, in my situation, the shit was crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was a 4-car collision. You know what I'm saying? I was at a red light. Nigga hit me in the back, and I hit 3 other cars. You know what I'm saying? So I got the worst of everything. Niggas going at least 80 miles per hour. Niggas say he fell asleep at the wheel. You know what I'm saying? It's just how I go. It could have been over for your boy. But seeing that pile up in Texas, 100-car collision, seeing the death toll was at 16, I believe. If I'm missing any, I want to say sorry. But seeing the death toll at 16 and seeing all those injuries and seeing all those cars and 18-wheelers piled up like that on that fucking highway, that was some Final Destination shit. For real, that was some real-life Final Destination shit. Like, I've never seen a pile up that fucking big. Like, car accidents alone is something that everybody, you can't take your eyes off the shit. Whenever you driving by and you see a motherfucking a car accident, you gonna look over. It just is what it is. It's human nature. So seeing a fucking 100-car collision on the fucking highway is some crazy ass shit. And just seeing cars right after each other just nonstop going, just sliding down the highway, that's some crazy ass shit, bro. That's some scary shit. Well, you can only imagine the people, being trapped and things like that. That's the type of shit my mind. That's my fucked up ass mind. I'm gonna be honest with you. My fucked up ass mind go to the people who just couldn't get out. It just got worse and worse every time a car came. So I just want to send my prayers and condolences to everybody else involved in that situation, man. Besides the whole state of Texas, man, the city of Houston took a big ass hit too, man. 2020 was a bad year for Houston, man. Like, especially the strippers. Like, how much money you think the city of Houston really lost? Like, niggas only talk about James Harden being gone. Like, they lost DeAndre Hopkins. They lost motherfucking me J.J. Watt. They lost motherfucking me George Springer, Jared Cole, Deshaun Watson trying to get out that bitch. Like, the strippers is trying to migrate. They trying to leave. The strippers trying to get out. The city of Houston really lost a lot of fucking money. Like, the only reason why I really believe that shit is because, you know what I'm saying, I remember when LeBron left Cleveland the first time. And, so they made the the big deal about how much money the city lost because he left. You know what I'm saying? You seen how just bad of a shape the city of Cleveland was until the nigga basically came back and brought the chip back. You know what I'm saying? So when you see the city of Houston, they lose James Harden, max player, J.J. Watt, max player, motherfucking DeAndre Hopkins, max player, George Springer, Jared Cole, max players. It's like, fuck. Like, oh shit. Who the fuck who the fans finna be cheering for, and who is the strippers finna be shaking that ass for? That's what we really need to be finding out. They lost a lot of fucking money. So to see them get to lose all that money in 2020, to get hit by a fucking snow blizzard, come on, man. Come on, man. Niggas is going through it in Texas. Houston is fucked up right now, man. Real shit. Real shit. Moving on, man. I guess I'll go ahead and get my Judas and the Black Messiah review, man. I don't want to get no spoilers in case you haven't seen it. It is available on HBO Max and in some theaters, but who the fuck is going to a theater right now? HBO Max that shit, man, at the crib, man. I will say this before I give my review. This is probably the first HBO Max release that I actually enjoyed. I didn't like the Wonder Woman shit, the Little Thing shit with Denzel and the mother niggas and Jared Leto and shit like that. I ain't like that movie, bro. That was probably one of the worst Denzel movies I've ever seen, and that's saying a lot. Like, I don't think it was a badass movie, but I just don't think it was what everybody was expecting. I think it was a bad flip on 7. I was hyped to see the shit for damn near 8 months, it seemed like. It just didn't live up to my expectations, and I wasn't really feeling the movie. But this Judas and the Black Messiah is the first movie I can honestly say I think it's a damn good movie that has been released on HBO Max during the pandemic. It's just a good movie from top to bottom. I don't want to give any spoilers and things like that just in case you haven't seen the movie. But it's a damn good movie. It's phenomenal acting from top to bottom. I think Daniel Kaluuya did a phenomenal job as being Fred Hampton. I think Lakeith Stanfield actually did a good job of being the snitch. I don't think, what was his name, Bill or some shit like that? His name Bill. I think he did a good job as that. I did see that he actually said he had to do some therapy after doing the role. It's fucked up. A nigga playing a snitch. A nigga playing a snitch and he need therapy. God damn. He should just call him 6ix9ine on some shit. But I think the casting was great, man. I think the women actors were phenomenal. I think all the women actors were phenomenal. They had very powerful leads in the movie. I just think the casting was great, man. The white cop, the white asshole fucking cop that had fucking Lakeith Stanfield running undercover and shit like that. That nigga been a little asshole racist his whole acting career. We've literally watched that nigga grow up from a kid, and he's been a little asshole, freckled little white kid since day one. Since day one. That nigga's been a little asshole, freckled kid, man. But it's just a phenomenal movie, man. It's one thing to say about Ryan Coogler, man. He was behind this. It's one thing to say about you gotta put something behind what somebody shows you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of motherfuckers can say a lot of shit, but what motherfuckers show you with their actions and the time and money and things they put their project and projects they put their time in. That's the things you gotta respect. And the things that I've seen Ryan Coogler put his hands and put his name behind, it's been nothing short of phenomenal for the betterment of our people. You know what I'm saying? I talked about at the top of this this episode. That's what this podcast is all about. That's what this platform is all about. So I can't do nothing but respect what I see Ryan Coogler doing, man. You got from Fruitvale Station, from Black Panther, to Creed, you know what I'm saying? Making fucking Creed, you know what I'm saying? Bringing that to the hip hop culture, bringing that to our culture. That was big. That was a phenomenal step forward and shit like that. Now you got this with Judas and the Black Messiah. You gotta do nothing but tip your hat off to Ryan Coogler, man. Just the things that he's doing and the steps he's doing. I'm watching his career very closely. We've always heard about the Spike Lees and shit like that. We have a new age, you know what I'm saying, African American actor who's doing his own thing in that same type of realm. You know what I'm saying? Spike Lee was for the betterment of our people. Ryan Coogler is showing you that's what he's doing as well. And he's putting his money where his mouth is, and he's putting his art where his mouth is. And I can't do nothing but respect it as a content creator. It is crazy, you know what I'm saying? And knowing the Fred Hampton story, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace as well. Condolences to his family. And seeing this story play out, seeing this story play out, it truly is sad. You know what I'm saying? I talked about at the top of the podcast of him speaking his mind and him only being 21 years old and him going through the things that he went through. You know, it's crazy for somebody to speak their mind and for the government to see him as such a huge threat. It truly is alarming. You know what I'm saying? Then when you fast forward today's day and you go through what Trump went through, and that nigga just got acquitted from his second impeachment. Like it's really fucked up. You know what I'm saying? In real life time, while you watching Judas and Black Messiah and you seeing Fred Hampton being murdered for speaking his mind and rallying his people, you know what I'm saying, getting the people behind him, you see him being murdered, you know what I'm saying, practically in his sleep pretty much, being paralyzed and things like that, from being drugged and things like that. When you see that and then in real time, you see Donald Trump doing some shit similar for a horrible crowd of people, you know what I'm saying, and inciting a large crowd of people, inciting terrorist acts, and he get acquitted from his second impeachment? You know what I'm saying? That's real time. That's in real time, my nigga. To me, that just made the movie. That made the movie stand out even more. I went back and watched it even more once I seen Trump got acquitted for his second impeachment. Like, it made the movie that much more powerful because it shows you how afraid America is of a powerful black voice. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the movie portrayed a powerful black man, but don't get it twisted. There was a powerful black woman behind him who's helping him with his delivery. Behind every strong man, there's a powerful black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it go. You know what I'm saying? It just lets you know how afraid America is of a powerful black voice. It truly is. It's a million white voices out there, but one powerful black voice, woo, they don't like that shit. They don't like that shit at all, and I love it. And I fucking love it. Speaking of powerful black voice, man, let's talk about Dave Chappelle, man. Dave Chappelle, man, I talked about it on past episodes about the whole Netflix special. We all know the big old story about him leaving Netflix and going to Africa for 12 years on a 12-year hiatus and things like that, coming back being a man of the hour. He's been a man of the hour for at least 2-3 years now, I feel like. But just recently, it was announced that Netflix Not Netflix, I'm sorry. Comedy Central has gave the rights back to Dave Chappelle. They also gave him multiple $1 million check. You know, saying for his troubles that he went through with that. I talked about it a few weeks ago on the podcast where he came out and he asked everybody to stop watching it. And people stopped watching that shit. And due to that, you know what I'm saying, Comedy Central had to cave, man. They understood that the people are with, you know what I'm saying, Dave Chappelle on this situation. And Dave Chappelle's at a point in time in his career that he's a hot ticket. It'd be foolish of any multi-million-dollar company to want to upset Dave Chappelle right now. He's a hot ticket. He's going to sell. His stand-ups right now, damn, they're not even stand-ups no more. He not even cracking jokes no fucking more. You know, he released a stand-up with this news that came out called The Redemption Song. I just watched it. I watched it multiple times, but I just watched it again prior to recording this podcast because I wanted to make sure I got every message that he was sending in his short, you know, short little stand-up. But like I said, man, Dave Chappelle, to me, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest comedian I've ever seen. I don't really get into the Richard Pryor and things like that because although I do think they're funny, it's just some old shit just don't hit the same. You know what I'm saying? Like some old shit just don't hit the same as for me as it would do for other people that's older than me. But I do understand that Richard Pryor is, you know, the GOAT of all GOATs compared to, considering all what other comedians say. But to me, Dave Chappelle's at a point in time in his life where he's not even cracking jokes no more, y'all. He's up there just talking. He's up there getting a message across, a broad message across of what he stands for. That's what he's doing. Like, I didn't even know the nigga was Muslim until, 2 stand-ups ago? Because that's what the nigga talking about. He diving into real life shit. He talking about shit that's really going on. He ain't even cracking jokes. Like, and the shit's so fucked up because it's like, it's not so fucked up, but it's so inspiring because you see somebody that's saying, fuck what I'm here for. I know you heard it for shits and giggles and laughing and all that. While I got your attention, I'm going to tell you about the real shit that's going on. That shit is inspiring, bro. And to see him have the impact of some big boss shit to where Comedy Central fucked him out of a deal, took the rights of his own show, and then he came back popping. Then they wanted to put the show back out and eat off his back. And then he has the power to ask the people to not watch that shit, and the people actually acquiesce and listen, and they don't watch the shit. So at that point, the value of that show was nothing. To the point where Comedy Central gave that man back his rights of his own shit and paid him for it. Come on, my nigga. Like, come on, my nigga. Like, what are we talking about? That's some of the biggest news I've seen in a long time. A long fucking time, my nigga. That's major. Like, it brings me back to what the fuck Fred Hampton said in the movie, bro. Wherever there's people, there's power. That's the fucking proof right there. That's the proof right there. Dave Chappelle asked the people, my nigga. He didn't do shit. He just asked the people, but please don't watch that shit. And niggas just lit. Niggas like, all right, we fuck with you, nigga. We ain't watching that shit. I bought the shit years ago and just didn't watch the shit because he said the shit. Because I fuck with Dave Chappelle that much. Like, real shit. And to see that it actually paid off. Like, that lets you know, bro, all niggas gotta do is put their minds to some shit. All we gotta do is just join forces, bro. We got the shit. We literally just got a nigga his rights back and got a nigga multi-million-dollar check on some shit that he didn't have to get. Like, it can always be that simple. But it's just, niggas just, all we gotta do is band together, bro. Like, that just lets you know, everybody not Dave Chappelle, I get it. Everybody don't have the, you know what I'm saying, the public persona that Dave Chappelle has. Like I said, right now, he's the man of the hour. He can't do no wrong right now. Niggas a comedian and they ain't cracked a fucking joke in how long? Niggas just up there talking that real shit. And niggas is fucking with it. Niggas want that real, bro. Niggas don't want the cookie cutter bullshit, bro. Niggas want real shit. He been providing that shit and it's paying off. Like, that's some major shit, bro. I want to make sure I gave a salute and shout out to Dave Chappelle and also the people, bro. Like I said, wherever there's power, there's fucking people, bro. When he said that shit in the movie, that was the realest shit I ever heard in my life. Because that's the truest shit. Life just comes down to that statement right there. Without people, ain't shit. Without people listening to my podcast, bro, this shit ain't shit. Without people supporting anything, without people buying your favorite artist's album, he ain't shit. She ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? We ain't shit. Without people, there's nothing. So for that to pay off for Dave Chappelle, bro, that's just some major shit, bro. I really just wanted to make sure I came over and said that shit on my podcast, man. Real shit. Hopefully, at one point in time in my career, throughout my podcast journey, and throughout my career personally, throughout my life personally, I should say, I can have that impact on people to where they can have my back the way people had his back. I hopefully that one day people will love me the way that we love Dave Chappelle. That's the goal, bro. That's the goal that I strive for. I want motherfuckers to ride for me the way I ride for them. The way I ride for black people right now, there's nothing I can compare it to. I've been doing it my whole life, and I don't want nothing in return. I'm not doing it for a return or anything like that. But it's like to have that same, you know what I'm saying, have that same reception from the people. I can only imagine how that feel. I know how it feel to get the motherfucking rights back. I bet I know how a nigga feel when he got that check. You know what I'm saying? So it's, wherever there's power, wherever there's people, there's power, man. That's the realest shit I've ever heard in my motherfucking life, man. Moving on, man. Let's get to sports. Some quick hitters and sports, man, before we wrap up the podcast, man. Let's get into the AD injury, man. Anthony Davis, if you don't know, he had an Achilles strain. He'll be out until after All-Star break. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The AD injury actually bothers me a little bit more. Just because, if I'm not mistaken, AD had an injury in the bubble. He had a heel injury. Anytime a motherfucker said nigga got a heel injury, I automatically start thinking about the Achilles. Ever since Kobe tore his shit, man, I just feel like the Achilles has been a fucking popular ass motherfucking me injury. I feel like that's how sports injuries always work, man. I feel like one superstar get hurt in any sport. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel like the ACL was. I feel like when Adrian Peterson tore his fucking ACL, you just seeing everybody tearing their motherfucking ACL in all sports. You start seeing Rondo tear his shit. Like, you start seeing basketball players do the shit. But with the Achilles, you know what I'm saying? It's like when Kobe tore his shit, you start seeing Richard Sherman tear his shit, and hella basketball players tear their shit. You start to see a lot more people starting to come back from those injuries. But whenever I see a big man, you know, start have a heel injury or Achilles injury, it starts to, you know, give me cause for concern. But they just say it's an Achilles strain. It's not a rupture of the tendon or anything like that. I think we're doing a good job of keeping him out until after All-Star break. Hopefully we can keep him out a little bit longer than that. I already seen Rich Paul release a statement saying he intends to have Anthony Davis out longer than March 10th for his reevaluation date. At this point in time, I don't think Anthony Davis should really been out there. I've been saying that since the beginning of the season. He really didn't look good. It looked like something was wrong with AD out there on that court. He wasn't really as explosive as he usually is. But he was still out there being, you know, productive and things of that nature. But the Lakers don't really need him for the regular season. It would be nice to have him out there, you know what I'm saying, at roughly towards the end of March. But at this point in time, bro, this was what I was talking about at the beginning of the podcast when the bubble first started and things like that. This was my main concern. Because although the bubble was a success, you know, the bubble was a success. We crowned a champion. The teams moved forward, things of that nature. But the main thing the main pushback I had against it was the short turnaround to the season. Now, granted, I'm a Laker fan. I know niggas out there like, nigga, you a Laker fan. It's Anthony Davis. Of course, you're going to be mad because if he get hurt. That's not the reason why I'm mad because Anthony Davis get hurt. It's not like Anthony Davis isn't known to get hurt. The nigga get hurt all the time. Every time I watch Anthony Davis, nigga, I'm clutching my motherfucking me. I'm clutching like this, hoping the nigga don't get hurt. He falls on the ground every other play. And somehow, some way, he gets hurt tying his fucking shoe. But the main point I had when the bubble first was initiated and first was being discussed, I was against it because of the short turnaround that the next season would produce. Now, granted, it's not, you know what I'm saying, LeBron James, or it's not, you know what I'm saying, other players who was in the bubble who, you know, sustained injuries and now they had this short turnaround, now they got hurt. It's just Anthony Davis. He's not a clear-cut example of somebody you want to, you know what I'm saying, put all you want to lean everything on because he is an injury-prone type player. But this is what I was talking about, bro. These dudes' bodies is used to something totally different. This short turnaround, asking them to play all this basketball nonstop and play this high competitive nature, it's not realistic, bro. People are going to get hurt. We only a little bit over a quarter of the season through. People are going to get hurt, bro. You got motherfucking KD out right now. News just released he gonna be out against the Lakers tomorrow. When this podcast come out. So he's not going to be in that matchup. AD not going to be in that matchup. Niggas is hurt. This short turnaround is not ideal. That's why you're seeing a lot of blowouts. That's why you're starting to see a lot of niggas sitting out for rest. Niggas is fucked up right now. And the reports are not really doing any justice. You start seeing more and more on the ticker, but they're not doing it any justice. You know what I'm saying? You know, while we talking about the NBA, I do want to say that I think the All-Star game is probably one of the biggest slaps in the face that the NBA has done in a long time. I do think because you are asking these players to have this short turnaround of the season. You're not even gonna have fans in attendance. You can't. I don't think the NBA can really be preaching safety and health protocols for motherfucking me a whole year straight to have these players playing the All-Star game that really don't mean shit. You got these dudes playing. You got the Lakers winning championship, and 70 days later they in a regular season. Although you shorten the season up by 10 games, what's the point of having a fucking All-Star game? What's the point of having that shit? There's no point really having an All-Star weekend, fam. That's really just to generate money for the fucking for the sponsors and things like that, because you're not allowing fans in there. You've already got the Atlanta mayor already releasing statements that he's paranoid and he's worried that the All-Star game is going to be bringing fans to this, bringing people to the city and things like that. They don't even want motherfuckers in the city for this shit. They not letting people, if you're not NBA regulated to these events, they not letting you in these events. So it's like, why the fuck are you even having All-Star weekend, my nigga? Just to have a fucking game for your sponsors and shit like that? Like, I really am wondering how many more players are going to speak up about the shit. You got LeBron speaking about the shit. You got Ja Morant and things like that speaking about the shit. But I don't think it's enough. It ain't enough motherfuckers speaking up for Adam Silver to take this shit serious and stopping this shit. Because it truly is the biggest slap in the face of motherfucking the NBA has done in a long ass time. You ain't even letting these niggas do jersey exchanges after the game, but you want these niggas to play in the All-Star game in Atlanta. The city that ain't been closed yet. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the craziest shit in the world. It's the craziest shit in the motherfucking world, bro. I don't know. I think it's just silly as fuck for the NBA to really even have the All-Star game. Give those players a week or two off, bro. Just give them a week off. Give them niggas a week off from playing ball, bro. And just get right back into the second half of the season. You don't even have the second half of the season schedule released, but you doing the All-Star game? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? So niggas don't even know what their body's finna get prepared for after the All-Star break. And you finna have them playing the All-Star game for what? There's no fans there. The All-Star weekend has always been for the fans. There's no fans, my nigga. Get them niggas out of there. Send them niggas home, man, for a few days, man. Moving on. Before we get out of sports, man, I seen that LeBron James was released by Forbes that he will soon be surpassing the $1 billion mark in NBA total career earnings. That's fucking phenomenal, bro. I know I talk about LeBron James a lot on this podcast, but it's just, I seen some things. It was Skip Bayless released a tweet. He was pretty much, I don't want to quote him word for word, but he was pretty much talking about Tom Brady getting his 7th ring. How Tom Brady was taking pay cuts all throughout his NFL career and things like that. Now he got his 7th ring, and he was asking why LeBron wouldn't take pay cuts and things like that. And my initial response was, nigga, fuck them crackers. We ain't giving them niggas no money back. Nigga, get that fucking $1 billion, bro. Get that $1 billion fucking dollars, bro. You know you really can't take shit Skip Bayless say serious when you talk about LeBron James. He gonna find a way to hate on LeBron James at all times. But I think it's phenomenal that LeBron James finna hit $1 billion just from playing basketball, my nigga. We all know about the other shit he got off the court, all of the endorsement deals, the sponsorship deals, and the shit he doing with the schools and the more in the vote shit. For him hitting $1 billion, bro, just knowing his story, you know what I'm saying, from a nigga coming from Akron, not knowing his pops, nigga just being good at ball, bro. A nigga just being physically gifted and putting that work in. And now he's just changing the lives of everybody around him. For him to touch $1 billion, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was more impressed when that nigga got the lifetime Nike deal. When I see a nigga get a lifetime Nike deal, I was like, fuck. I was like, fuck. This nigga made it. He made it. But now to see this nigga got a lifetime Nike deal and he finna surpass $1 billion. Come on, man. Come on, man. Like, it's just certain shit. It's just certain shit you just can't do nothing but salute, bro. You can't. It's just certain shit you didn't even see coming. I ain't see that coming. I didn't see $1 billion coming, bro. Like the money right now in the NBA is crazy, and to know that LeBron ain't never took a pay cut, I fuck with it even more. Cause I always say if I'm in that situation, I'm not taking a pay cut for none of you niggas. I ain't giving them white folks shit back. I'm already underpaid. You already underpaying me. You give me this max contract, nigga, but I'm still underpaid. I'm not taking no pay cut for a chance to win a ring. It ain't guaranteed. Fuck you. You can kiss my ass and suck my dick bone dry, nigga. Real shit. But moving on, man. Let's get into music, man. Lucky Day dropped the project, A Table for Two. If you know me, man, I'm an R&B and soul type of guy, man. I love hip hop, of course, but I love R&B and soul genre a little bit more, man. I work out to that shit. I listen to a Jamie Foxx playlist while I work out, bro. When motherfucking me, You Change Me come on, I'm hitting that shit. I'm hitting that shit. But Lucky Day did drop a project, man. It's like 7 songs on there. It's a nice project, man. It's something to ride to. It's something if you got something with you, light you a candle, smoke your little J, get some wine popping, man. Set the vibe, bro. Trust me. Set the vibe. Lucky Day get you there, man. Moving on to the movie of the week. Movie of the week is One Night in Miami. Shout out to Regina King moving on to her next stage in her career. The director. It's always beautiful to see, you know what I'm saying, somebody moving on to their next steps of their life. The next steps of their journey and where it's going to take them. To see her go from phenomenal actor all my motherfucking life, all my childhood into my adulthood, to see her do that and to move on to directing and see her do the One Night in Miami, which is a phenomenal movie. It's on Amazon Prime. We got the motherfucking it's like Malcolm X, Sam Cooke, Jim Brown, and motherfucking who the fuck else was in that room? Muhammad Ali. How the fuck I forget Muhammad Ali? God damn. And Muhammad Ali. It's a phenomenal movie. You know what I'm saying? Throughout this pandemic, man, the movies that I really like that's been released lately is the fucking black movies, bro. It's not even on no, some super pro black shit. It's just like I just think those have been the best, well directed, well shot, well scripted, and well acted out movies that's been released throughout the pandemic. I kind of feel like all the movies that's been released throughout the pandemic, like these motherfuckers was made during the pandemic. Like these motherfuckers they took like 30 minutes to make these motherfuckers. Like that's how I felt about the little things. Like I felt like they made that motherfucker right in the middle of the pandemic. Like it felt like it wasn't even done. It was half done or some shit. That's how I've been feeling like about all these movies. I don't know if it's the effect of being at home, you know what I'm saying, watching these movies and shit. Like I don't know what the effects are, but the One Night in Miami was a damn good movie. You know, I salute to Regina King for that. The only thing that was funny about that shit, the only thing that was funny about the One Night in Miami shit is that they kind of made Malcolm X look like Tommy from Martin. It's like they kind of made Malcolm X he was like Tommy from Martin. He ain't had no job. Nigga was always just trying to kick knowledge. Like Sam Cooke was not trying to hear that shit. Sam Cooke was trying to go get some bitches. Jim Brown was trying to go get some bitches. Like, but it was just like Malcolm X was just trying to kick knowledge. He ain't had no job for real. That was the funniest shit about the movie, but it was a damn good movie. You know what I'm saying? It was a damn good movie. It's on Amazon Prime. I encourage everybody to go check that shit out. It's nominated for a bunch of awards. It's a damn good movie. She really did her thing. I'm not sure if that's her directing debut. If it is, that's a big step. I ain't gonna fake it. But moving on, man, to my favorite segment of the podcast, man, the Love Thy Hero segment. This week's Love Thy Hero goes out to Daniel Kaluuya. I mentioned him, talking about the Judas and Black Messiah movie at the top of the podcast. The reason why I want to give him this week's Love Thy Hero, man, I kind of mentioned when I was talking about Ryan Coogler, man. It's like at a certain point in time, man, you gotta appreciate and honor and value what the work that somebody does. I was first introduced to Daniel Kaluuya. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. I mean no disrespect if I'm butchering it. I was first introduced to him probably like most of you guys from Get Out. Then moved on. I seen him in Black Panther. You seen him in Queen and Slim. You see him in now you got him in Judas and the Black Messiah. He's been in other things as well. But it's just like you have at some point in time, you have to put a stamp on somebody when you see them doing nothing but empowering our culture. I don't give a fuck where he's from. You know what I'm saying? He can be from me. The nigga look like us, so I gotta ride with him. You know what I'm saying? And when you ask him a question about us, he riding for us. So I don't see the disconnect at all. But it's just seeing him take on these roles that's doing nothing but uplifting our community and instilling knowledge into the people who didn't know about these situations, who didn't know about the Fred Hampton situation. There's a lot of people in my age that don't know about the Black Panther history. You know what I'm saying? We only know the bits and pieces that motherfuckers tell us. They don't talk about that shit in school. You know what I'm saying? They don't talk about that shit to the level that they should. It's not talked about enough in our own culture. You know what I'm saying? So for him to do this movie and to kill that role the way he did, you can't do nothing but salute him. I knew the nigga was a phenomenal actor when he did the eyes and Get Out. When he was crying like that and Get Out, I said, this nigga on to something. This nigga a damn good actor. But on a serious note, man, like I was saying, it's just you have to give someone their flowers, man, when they just do nothing but uplift the community, man. It's the same with John Bodega, the dude from Star Wars. Everything he does and every time you hear him talk, it's about uplifting our people, uplifting the people that look like them, that sound like them, that think like them. That's why I made this podcast. That's the only reason why I made this podcast, bro, because I know it's a bunch of motherfuckers out there like me, men and women that think like me, that's been through the shit that I've been through, that laugh at the shit I laugh at, that talk the same amount of shit that I talk. I made this shit for y'all. I made that shit for us because we all need a hub to come together and get shit off our chest, you know what I'm saying, unfiltered. Don't give a fuck what motherfuckers say. I mean, I know a lot of people that look like me and sound like me that think that way. So I wanted to make sure I came in here and gave that same praise and gave them flowers to Daniel Kaluuya, man. I can't do nothing but respect you for the work you've done. The roles you've done, you've taken on, man. They've uplifted our community. They shine light on our community. They've been some of the biggest movies of our culture within the last five years. Really, you've been in all of them. So I can't do nothing but salute you, man. Nothing but love these ways, man. Real shit. Moving on, man. Before I get into the positive segment of the week, man, it's just a daily reminder, man, that police ain't shit, man. You know, over Valentine's Day, I'm over there in L.A., you know what I'm saying? It was released that it was an investigation that was launched by the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. There were several LAPD officers, you know what I'm saying, who were allegedly circulating a mock Valentine's Day card, you know what I'm saying, with George Floyd face on it, saying you take my breath away and shit like that. It's just a daily reminder, man, the police ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Every week, man, I always come out at the end of the podcast, I tell y'all, never let them sidetrack you with the bullshit. That right there was bullshit. I didn't even want to come around on the podcast and talk about, you know what I'm saying, what the LAPD did and the disrespect they had towards George Floyd. I didn't want to talk about that shit. When I seen that shit, I tried to scroll past that shit so fast. But the only reason why I want to talk about that shit and bring that shit up is because, like I tell y'all every week, man, never let them sidetrack you with the bullshit. And I truly mean that shit. Like, I honestly mean that shit. If there's ever been more words in my life that I ever meant, it's never let them sidetrack you with the bullshit. Because it's a lot of it out there, especially out in today's age in 2021. And that was a prime example of it. And the reason why I brought that up is because this week's positive segment of the week is dedicated to George Floyd. There was a 2-block memorial that was dedicated to George Floyd, and it was panned directly in front of his high school back in Houston. That's why I want to bring that shit up. The positive segment of the week goes out to the people who went out there and did that shit and did that honor and gave that to George Floyd and his family. That's the positive segment of the week. You can't let them forget. You can't let them make us forget about what the fuck we out here doing this shit for. We can't forget about why the whole world joined forces. We can't forget about why all the countries and all the states went on protests together. We can't let them put so much bullshit out there that we forget about that. Nah. I don't. You know what, LAPD? You several officers who did that little bullshit, that little Valentine's Day card. I hope you motherfuckers got all the shits and giggles you motherfucking me want. You know what I'm saying? I hope it was worth it. I hope the investigation goes through. Hopefully you get fired. I'm pretty sure you won't. I'm pretty sure we'll never hear about this shit again. But you know what won't go away? That motherfucking that tribute, that mural right there in front of George Floyd's old high school. That won't never go away. We won't never forget George Floyd. You can crack as many jokes as you want, my nigga. It won't go away. So certain names just don't go away. You know what I'm saying? Certain things don't go away. Certain actions of you motherfucking me devils don't go away, my nigga. And over here on the Until Further Notice podcast, I'm going to make sure that certain shit don't go away. And George Floyd, rest in motherfucking peace. It don't go away, my nigga. What the fuck is these niggas talking about, cracking jokes and shit? I'm telling you, man, I always ask niggas, where are the real niggas in this situation? Where are the cops? Where are the semi-racists that seen that shit and was like, oh shit, this is a little too much? Like, at what point in time is it just too much? You know what I'm saying? Like, at what point in time is just shit too far? When is shit just too far? An investigation Fucking investigation. It's time for retaliation. Fuck that. You got me fucked up, man. But moving on, man. I want to say, it was a lot of death. I came across a lot of news about death this past week, man, before I came up with the things I was going to talk about in this podcast. So I wanted to make sure I came on here and said rest in peace to the names that I came across. I want to say rest in peace to send my prayers and condolences to Nicki Minaj's father. Send my prayers and condolences to her family. It was released that her father was killed in a hit and run accident. Like I said, it's sad, man. I talked about earlier in the podcast, man. I was involved in a car accident, man. Some of the scariest shit in the world. It truly is, man. I'm lucky to be here. So I can only imagine, you know what I'm saying, how she feels and going through these tough times, man. I've lost a parent, so I can only imagine, man. I can only imagine in these situations, man. Real talk. So I want to send my prayers and condolences to Nicki Minaj and her family. Also, send my prayers and condolences to Mike Epps and his family. He lost his mother and his father weeks apart. You know what I mean? That's fucked up. You know what I mean? Like I want to send my prayers and condolences to that situation, man. I talked about it on past episodes at the beginning of last year. You know what I mean? I lost my grandpa and my grandma weeks apart. You know what I mean? It's fucked up when you lose people weeks apart, man. You don't have, it's like you don't have time to get over one passing, then another one just hits you, and it's like those two just compound, and you can spiral into a deep, dark, you know what I'm saying, a deep, dark depression if you're not careful, man. So I just wanted to make sure I send my prayers and condolences to Mike Epps and his family. That's some fucked up shit, man. It truly is. Also, I want to say rest in peace to Vincent Jackson, man. Former, you know what I'm saying, Pro Bowl receiver, former NFL wide receiver. I want to say rest in peace to Vincent Jackson as well, man. It's a lot of deaths that in this past week, and send my prayers and condolences once again to anybody in Texas who lost their life, and everybody who's impacted by the storm, and anybody in the Midwest who's going to be impacted by the storm that's coming up pretty soon. Anybody out there, man, in the world, you know, everybody listen to the podcast. Anybody that's in your family or friends who lost their lives, man, just send my prayers and condolences to that situation, man. Everybody got a story, man. Everybody going through something. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got some shit on their mind. Everybody got, you know what I'm saying, a chip on their shoulder for something right now, especially in 2021. Real shit. So I just want to send my prayers and condolences to everybody out there, man. Real shit. But I think that's it, man. I think that's all I got for you guys this week. I want to say shout out to everybody that's tapped in once again, man. Shout out to everybody supporting the podcast on all platforms. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for tapping in, joining the conversation. Let's keep building this motherfucking me empire, man. This is episode 31. Of course, you know, we're on the grind at 100. This shit will not stop. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. Rate and review the podcast on all platforms that allow you to. Let's get this shit going, man. Let's get this shit moving, man. I got my foot on the gas, man. I'm not letting up at all, bro. But you know I give it up on this side, man. It's all love these ways, man. Never let them sidetrack you with the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Stay safe, stay sharp, stay sane. And I'll holler at y'all next week, man. I'm out. Peace.